Good evening, VV Nation. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time. My name is Ryan. Always a pleasure giving these 6 p.m. videos. Now, 3 weeks ago, just over 3 weeks ago, I did a video on oil, right? Talking about the potential for it to go higher, a nice little rally, commodities in general. We all know about gold. That was last night's video. Tonight's video, we're going to focus on oil. I was going to do semiconductors. I saw ASML, nothing really positive coming out of there. Bad news on AMD and NVIDIA when it comes to tariffs and how much money they'll be taking a hit on. NVIDIA was at $5.5 billion. TSM reported this morning. Phenomenal report, but all the semis are still under pressure. So I'll let you know when a good opportunity comes when the semiconductor space. That being said, tonight we're going to focus on oil, right? The last presentation I did 3 weeks ago, it focused on mostly geopolitical tensions in the trade war with China, right? And furthermore, talked about how Trump's cracking down on Venezuela, Russian, and Iranian oil getting into the global supply chain. Well, what will that do? That will decrease supply while demand stays the same, right? Putting pressure on price, and that's coming to fruition. I see oil is up today, so we're going to take a look at the oil sector. We're going to take a look how those stocks are moving collectively, and in tonight's presentation, I'm going to give you my top 5 picks utilizing the VectorVest 7 system, so that way we can make some money in this rally. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, stick around.
Hey VV Nation, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Ryan, and on May 1st, put it on your calendars, by popular demand, we're kicking off the roadshow in Charlotte, North Carolina. Break down what we're going to be doing that day.
We're going to do 2 live streams there. We're going to do the Stock Analysis Power Hour, which is going to be done by Ryan. We're also going to be doing Trending Thursday live stream as well, which will be hosted by me. And in the middle, we've got a special presentation.
We've worked very hard for a special presentation titled Unlocking the Secrets to Financial Success. Now, after the business is done, we're going to have some fun with our VIP experience where we rented out the presidential suite in Uptown Charlotte. We're going to have a very own sommelier hosted by Jarvis Vineyards. And on top of that, we are going to go over to Fahrenheit's, a beautiful rooftop restaurant where we'll be able to get to know our subscribers even more. To register, simply go to vectorvest.com/roadshow. We're in the VectorVest 7 software, and here's a graph of the petroleum sector. So this is all the petroleum stocks we're currently tracking right now, comprised in one single entity. Now you can see the candlesticks here, right? We just recently hit a 12-month low back on the 7th of April, 25.35. Since then, some buying pressure coming in. Nice full-bodied candlestick today. So if you're not already in petroleum stocks, you haven't already taken advantage of this dip, this is what I'm going to be hesitant of. Do you see the level of resistance we're approaching now? 29.29. Let me zoom in a 3-month time span. The body of the candlestick in the upper wick here coming in at $29 even. So just about 29 cents away from that resistance level. On top of that, price action approaching that 20-day exponential moving average. So this is a pretty key level I'm looking at here. So I want to see a clear break through this, just to get confirmation to the upside, maybe a nice retest with a pivot. Ideally, if you've got the patience to wait for confirmation. Otherwise, if you're already in these positions, just see if we get rejection at this level, protecting the little bit of profits we would have made over the last week and a half. Now, some optimism, because I know a lot of people have been asking about gold and interested in gold. This space is not an overbought territory. If you look at the RSI 9 here, it's only at 49.91. So there's still a lot of upside potential to be had. My only concern in this space as of right now, if I go back to a year chart, you'll see the EPS here. This is our forecasted data, 12-month leading forecast of earnings per share, clearly tapering off over the last 12 months. Now, with cheap oil in place, coming in around $60 a barrel, that's just not sustainable. I was just looking at some articles here from U.S. oil-producing companies where the CEOs and executives are talking about more, around $70 a barrel would be sustainable for companies to be profitable in the petroleum sector. Now, I do have 5 oil stocks for you, so let's jump in and see if there's any money to be made. Here's the 5 oil stocks I got for you. You can see, look, positive territory in all of them. The leader today being Vista Energy, followed by Innovex, and then Technip, which is the only sell rating stock. So if you want to avoid an overbought scenario, you can take a look at Technip. But if we look at the valuation of these companies, look, undervalued, slightly overvalued, we'll call it fairly valued. And LNG being the only severely overvalued company here, the other two being undervalued as well. Now, if we take a look at RV and RS, the relative safety, this space does not have a lot of safety in general. But a lot of these stocks here do have great upside potential when it comes to RV or relative value. So most of these picks here, according to our investor matrix, are going to be more prudent to conservative picks. And on top of that, look at RT relative timing. This looks at the short-term price trend of these individual equities. You can see the trend is currently in our favor in 4 out of 5 of the positions. Only one with an RT below 1 currently sits at 0.8, and that's going to be the sell recommended stock at no surprise. But again, a nice bottom fishing or buy the dip scenario here in case that's an option you want to look at. And we'll take a look at the chart in just a moment. And when it comes to the forecasted data, I try to find stocks with double digits across the board. 2 did not qualify. We had some negatives here, but other than those 2, I mean, look at these phenomenal ratings here. Sales growth rate 52%, 88% for Innovex. And the leader when it comes to the earnings growth rate is going to be Technip at 32%. It's actually one of the highest numbers I could find in the VectorVest 7 software for a petroleum stock. Now let's go ahead and jump to the charts and see if there's any opportunities presenting themselves. Now, when I was looking at these charts, I tried to aim for stocks with a rising earnings per share to kind of go against the grain of the sector when we saw over the last 12 months the forecasted EPS tapering off. But that being said, look at Vista Energy here. Downside action for most of the last 3 months here, but a nice pivot to the upside. If we look at the moving averages, price action above the 20-day EMA, 3 above the 8, and potentially getting into the fast lanes according to the Bollinger Bands. We are seeing an upper wick here, so if you want confirmation, just get a close or an open into the fast lane, showing that momentum is continuing. Now here's Murphy USA, again, the forecasted earnings per share on the rise over the last few months. And if we take a look at price action here, moving averages in our favor, price action's already in the fast lane. If you're looking for confirmation here, take out the resistance level, going to be around 522. Otherwise, if you're looking for an exit strategy, you could utilize the 20-day EMA or the upper Bollinger Band, which currently sits right around the 8-day exponential moving average. LNG, a lot of consolidation over the last few months. We're approaching several swing highs here, coming in around 235. Currently, we're sitting at 234.29. I'd give up the extra dollar just to get a sense of confirmation here. If you're already in the position, hey, the moving averages, they're in a bullish manner. The stock now approaching the fast lane, getting above the upper Bollinger Band at 233. And again, look at the forecasted data going against the grain of the sector and is rising over the last few months. Next up, we have Innovex. Again, nice full-bodied candlestick. Now, this stock's more on a dip here. You can see price action just crossing above that 20-day EMA, showing you some potential early bullish momentum, but we're not in the fast lane yet. The moving averages just crossed over the 3 and 8 as of yesterday in a bullish manner. And on top of that, look, again, the earnings per share, I want to find companies with expected rising earnings, right? I want to see a nice earnings growth rate in this sector. And for the last stock I have for you, it's going to be the sell recommended stock. This is going to be Technip PLC. This is more of a bottom fishing or buying the dip opportunity. Now, the 3 is converging close to the 8. We'll probably get that crossover to the upside relatively soon if there's any more bullish action to be had. You see the 3's at 25.51, catching up to the 8-day EMA, which is at 25.65. So if you want confirmation, get price action above the 20-day EMA, or even better, if you get above this level of resistance at 27.86. Currently, the stock is right around $26 right now. So you're not giving up too much upside potential for that confirmation. But again, look at the EPS on the rise here. Look at the growth rate, 32%. Sales growth rate, double digits here, coming in at 15%. So you see exactly why I put the stock on your radar when it comes to the dip in oil. Now, I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation, and even more importantly, found the stocks I provided for you this evening to be profitable going forward. Now, if you found this information informative, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Good night.